So Hawaii is about to do something absolutely unprecedented. BBC News says this: Hawaii could raise the legal smoking age to 100, effectively banning cigarettes for the vast majority of people in the state. In a new bill proposed by Democrat Richard Creagan, the smoking age would increase rapidly between 2020 and 2024. It will need to pass through the state legislature and weather a potentially strong backlash from tobacco companies in order to become state law. E-cigarettes, chewing tobacco, and cigars are not included in the bill. Dr. Creagan, who was an emergency room physician before he was elected as state representative in 2014, calls the cigarette the deadliest artifact in human history in the bill. In January 2017, Hawaii became the first U.S. state to raise its smoking age to 21. In other U.S. states, the legal age is usually 18 or 19. Okay, so there's a lot to say about this. Let me break it down for everybody. Save your judgment until I'm done explaining my position, because I think this is a complex issue. I'm against this. Here's why I'm against it. It's too authoritarian. Now, is this Kyle making the argument that cigarettes are not dangerous? Listen, dude, my dad died from cigarettes at the age of 56. He smoked at least 2 packs a day for his entire adult life, got lung cancer, metastasized to his spine, and he died. Okay, so I don't have any love for cigarettes. I smoked for about 5 years, and then I switched to blue e-cigarettes, and then I was able to quit from the blue e-cigarettes. So I also have a soft spot for blue e-cigarettes, or e-cigarettes in general, because they got me off of actual cigarettes, and they're not as bad for you. But do I understand the danger that is cigarettes? You bet your ass I do. Those anecdotal stories of like, well, my grandma smoked until she was 97, and she was fine, and then she died at a very old age. Honestly, that's the exception. I think the data shows the majority of people who smoke, it's an ugly ending. Whether it's emphysema or lung cancer or whatever. Cigarettes are insanely dangerous. Insanely dangerous. So I get it. But if you actually believe in freedom, you can't do such a heavy-handed authoritarian move like totally banning them. Now, what would I be in favor of? I'm in favor of regulation. Listen, this is my take on everything when it comes to drugs, when it comes to guns. Legal, tax, regulate. So, if you're a lawmaker and you come to me, or you're an aide and I'm the lawmaker, and you come to me and you say, hey, we have this new plan. The plan massively limits the number of carcinogens that can be put in cigarettes. It's only a few number of ingredients that can be in there. And these cigarettes are scientifically proven to be significantly healthier than your run-of-the-mill cigarettes, which are packed with chemicals and carcinogens and all these things. And you say, hey, let's regulate cigarettes and take the worst carcinogenic additives out of them and only allow these specific kind of cigarettes, which are still bad for you, but nowhere near as bad as the original cigarette. Would you support this bill? I'd say yes, I do. Because I think that's basic marketplace regulation. You're allowed to have the government step in and say, okay, we're going to allow this, but we're going to tweak it. You know, you can't have fucking arsenic in this product or whatever. So I think the same thing applies to cigarettes. If you want to regulate out the worst additives and you want to make cigarettes less unhealthy, then go right ahead. Now, there's no way you're going to be able to ban everything that's unhealthy, you know? Like, we live in the world. The world is not full of just fucking roses and rainbows and puppy dogs, and there are things that are unhealthy, and you shouldn't even ban things that are unhealthy, because if you believe in freedom, you believe in giving people the freedom to make the wrong choice sometimes when it comes to social issues. And I agree with that. You're not gonna you want to regulate into existence that everybody lives in a fucking giant padded room, and if you run into the wall, you don't get hurt. No, that's authoritarianism, that's nanny statism, and that goes too far. So this is why I've always described myself, and when I take those political tests, I always come out this way. I'm a libertarian leftist. I lean more in the libertarian direction than in an authoritarian direction, and there's a big difference between an authoritarian leftist and a libertarian leftist. A libertarian leftist looks at a story like this, where they are literally basically banning cigarettes, and they go, no, you're going too far. And that's not to say cigarettes aren't evil and dangerous and terrible for you. They are. They're all those things. But I much prefer the idea of keep them legal, tax them, and also regulate them. So make them less dangerous, take out some of the worst additives, but you have to give people the freedom to make a decision, even a wrong decision, because that's what life is, man. That's what life is. I mean, what's next? McDonald's is objectively bad for you. Should we ban McDonald's? McDonald's is fucking delicious. It's delicious. I want to have the option to go to McDonald's maybe once every other week or something, because I fucking love it. It tastes great. I wouldn't be okay with just, let's cite the numbers. McDonald's leads to X amount of fucking heart attacks and blah, 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 so we have to ban it. You're going too far, and that is the definition of authoritarianism. You know, we go on and on. Gambling. There's a lot of people who are addicted to gambling. Should we ban gambling because some people are addicted? Well, I got news for you. A lot of people who gamble are not addicted, and they do it recreationally, and they're totally fine. So, when you buy into the logic of ban it, it's bad, then the ultimate ending to that is just flat-out authoritarianism, and the government decides for you what's okay and what's not okay. My perspective is lean in a freedom direction, lean in the libertarian direction on social issues, but allow for reasonable regulation. So you want to take out the worst additives? Yes, take out the worst additives, regulate the product, tax the product, but you have to allow it, because if you don't allow it, you're just controlling people's lives too much. And also, by the way, that breeds hatred and contempt against the government. Now, would their plan save lives? Don't kid yourself. Banning cigarettes would absolutely save lives. But what's the ultimate end goal here? Is the ultimate end goal just to save lives? Because if the ultimate end goal is just to save lives, we should ban cars. Now, when I say ban cars, all of you go, why would that's crazy? Right, it's crazy. Even though it would save a tremendous number of lives, it is kind of crazy. So the ultimate goal is not just save lives. There's other things we're balancing here, like freedom, convenience, choice. So it's a balancing act, and you got to be as reasonable and objective as possible, and you have to, balance competing values. And this is a tough one, but my position is you have to keep cigarettes legal, but you should regulate them to make them less unhealthy, if that makes sense.